I'm just going to say it's a difficult situation. I think you guys know it. Everybody knows it. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's just wait and see. This is not an easy situation. It's not an easy one to talk about, frankly. I try to protect everybody. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Hey, Coach, what's going on? How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're good. Hey, Steve, I'd love to hear you expand a little bit on a comment that I think a lot of people heard you talk about earlier this week in sticking with the starting lineup that you've had for a little while. And I think, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but you said something along the lines of, it allows the game to unfold the way that we want it to. I'd love to hear more in terms of what you mean by that. How is it unfolding in your favor after that?
Well, you get to get Draymond, the first 6 minutes of the game, not having to guard a behemoth center on the other team. So that's helpful. And Quinten Post is playing well. His defense has improved dramatically. He's good outside shooter. So we like that. And we like having Moses on the other team's best, perimeter player. So it gives Moses and QP good solid role. Starts Draymond off the way we want him, playing the four, and then allows us to get into our rotation. And it's a little tricky. Al can only play 20 minutes really. Melton is at 24 coming off the injury, so those guys. It makes perfect sense, given those minutes, to bring them off the bench. And then I think we've got guys who have always been really good off the bench in Guy and Gary Payton. And so you start the way you do, you bring guys off the bench who impact the game right away or who are on minutes restrictions, and it just seems to work pretty well.
I think we all get the Al Horford thing. Do you envision later in the year that Melton will be able to go more than those 24 minutes?
Yeah, for sure. And it's assuming he can, get up to 30 minutes, I could definitely see him playing, a full 30 minutes during any game. I mean, that's how impactful he is. He's a two-way player. He's another ball handler, playmaker to put next to Steph. He guards multiple positions. So, Melt is he's going to make a huge impact for us for sure.
And you mentioned Guy, and it feels like it hasn't been a meteoric emergence into the heavy rotational minutes, but it seems like every time you play him, he just gets better and better. What are you seeing from Guy that's given him confidence and you guys confidence to play him more?
Well, I'm seeing the same thing I saw last year at the end of the year after we got Jimmy, and we played Guy about 15 minutes a game. And at the end of the season, he was our highest plus-minus guy. He plays so hard, and he goes after every offensive rebound. He's in the passing lanes. He's just got a knack for being around the ball, good passer, good shooter. So really a perfect role player and a high-energy guy. And it's kind of, when you put him out there for 15 minutes, you know exactly what you're going to get. And he changes the game with his energy, similar to Gary Payton. And so we're in a decent place right now where we're playing a lot of people, but a lot of guys are playing well and embracing their roles, and we're finding some consistency.
Steve, I think it's such a natural time. I'm sure you heard all the questions last night, being at the halfway mark of your schedule, for people to kind of do a State of the Union thing with you. And I know that you've said you feel like you're in a pretty good spot, and Draymond said you're in a pretty good spot. And then everyone got to Jimmy, and he's like, we're mediocre. What's your reaction to that word from Jimmy?
I just laugh. I mean, Jimmy's he's an interesting guy. He's brilliant. He is he reminds me of Andre Iguodala. He doesn't suffer fools. He understands the league. He understands, he's been around for a long time. And so he knows, like, we're doing fine, but we can do better. And I didn't mind him saying we're mediocre, because 22-19 is not where we expected to be and hope to be. But I just feel like we're pretty close, and we just have to keep going. You guys know this. We've lost 4 or 5 games. We probably should have won, but you got to win those games. And so, second half of the season, we got to be much better. Closing games out.
I thought it was funny where the game was clearly in hand and Jimmy Butler didn't really want to play anymore, so he just committed a foul and looked over you like, come on, Steve, you know what I want.
Sub me out.
Yeah, sub me out. Yeah. And he goes beeline to the bench, and that was about it. Kind of nice to have a bit of a laugher as you get set for the New York Knicks. And just in general, what have you made of this homestand? Feels like you've won the ones for the most part you needed to, and you haven't been able to pull off the upset.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing well. I mean, the Atlanta came in and just played a great game, but I like the process, and that's what we always focus on as a staff is the process good? We've been able to settle into rotations. We haven't had any back-to-backs, which means that both Melton and Al Horford have been able to play every game. It allows you to settle in, not have to get on a plane, come in, watch tape. Everything just feels very comfortable, and we've earned this. The first part of the season was murderous, and it's just it's great to settle in and kind of find ourselves a little bit and settle into a good groove.
The idea of a laugher last night and a comfortable one, and Steve, I'm going to annoy you here with this question. I'm willing to do it though, because it's so noticeable that when the bench gets emptied, there's still one guy that doesn't come off the bench. So even in what they call garbage time, why does Jonathan not go in at that point?
I'm just going to say it's a difficult situation. I think you guys know it. Everybody knows it. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's a difficult situation.
And it's probably one that won't get rectified to the extent that he will play more or he'll be a part of garbage time. It's kind of, I guess, for you, a little bit of a wait and see pattern.
It's just wait and see. We have to control what we can control. Try to keep moving the ship forward. And as I said, this is not an easy situation. It's not an easy one to talk about, frankly. I try to protect everybody organizationally, and nobody's winning right now with this situation, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
I wanted to throw this at you, Steve, based on you finally arrived at this stretch of home games. You mentioned the no back-to-backs. Are you feeling that the team is kind of getting what it needs to brace itself for when you do go back out on the road and you do have something that might be a little bit more grueling down the stretch?
Yeah, I do. I think the biggest thing, honestly, is De'Anthony and Al, finally being healthy and in rhythm together at the same time and playing them game after game. That's why the no back-to-backs has helped. We gain 2 playoff-tested two-way players to add to the rotation. It just feels like we're deeper and more capable to withstand anything. And obviously, as soon as the back-to-backs come, we're going to have to deal with missing one or the other. And but I think we're capable where we are right now of finding the momentum and closing out some of these close games that we've lost the first half of the season and getting on a run.
Yeah, up next Monday and Tuesday, homestand ending back-to-back with Miami and Toronto. A lot of chatter about Draymond in December and a horrendous plus-minus. What have you made of how he's, and I don't want to say turned it around like he was having a bad year, but his last 2 weeks, what have you made of Draymond Green?
He's been great. I mean, he's settled in. He's been, last night he had a tough night turnover wise, but over the previous couple of weeks, he's had an incredible assist to turnover ratio. His defense is still elite. It's incredible watching his brain operate during a game and seeing him blow up so many different actions from one play to the next. So, he's still an elite defender, and the biggest thing for him, as he and I have talked about many times, is Can he just make simple decisions, because he's a really good playmaker and he knows Steph so well and he gets Steph so many shots. So as long as he's just hitting singles and making simple decisions, he makes a huge impact on our game.
Steve, do you feel that this don't talk about the turnovers thing is working? It feels like that maybe as the group turned a little bit of a corner.
I think so. I mean, if you just look at in aggregate, the last 5 or 6 games, numbers have really improved, and no surprise, as those numbers have improved, our offensive rating has gone up. We're winning more games.
104 total threes attempted last night. 21 different players made a three, which is an NBA record. When you watch this night after night, Steve, and the whole cliche about, it's a make or miss league, do you enjoy where the league is right now with pretty much it's a three or a dunk all the time?
I think the league's in a good place, honestly. I think the offenses around the league have gotten more creative the last couple of years. I thought there was a point a few years ago where it just felt like everybody was running high screen and roll and shooting a million threes, but there's more creativity now that's happening. There's more ball movement. I think what teams are trying to do is put 5 playmakers on the floor at one time, which is really fun to watch. So even though there are tons of threes taken, I think it's a more interesting game now than it was a few years ago.